I want to start with a military overview, especially with a small but, in my opinion, very important and long awaited piece of news. So, Ukraine has begun using the light aircraft Zlin Z-137T Agroturbo to intercept Shahed drones. This plane is fitted with several relatively inexpensive Soviet made R-73 missiles. These are air to air missiles, meaning they are designed to be launched from aircraft and to destroy airborne targets. And with the help of these missiles, the Shaheds are shot down. As far as I understand the tactics of this aircraft, it is a small single engine piston plane which was generally used for spraying fields with various types of chemicals. This aircraft can calmly and unhurriedly get behind a drone flying toward its target in Ukraine, approach it at a safe distance, and launch a missile at it. The missile detonates, the drone falls, and the aircraft moves on to the next target. For destroying drones like the Shahed, which are fairly large, fly at a steady speed, and maintain roughly the same altitude along a single vector, such planes are perfectly suited. Honestly, I thought they could also be armed with regular machine guns or small caliber cannons, but inexpensive missiles work just fine as well. In my view, this is a very good solution. The cost of such a plane is minimal, mere pennies. In terms of a state budget, it's essentially nothing. This aircraft has very good maneuverability. It can turn quickly and fly fast. Not as fast as a jet fighter, of course, but still fast enough to catch a Shahed. Its ability to catch targets is much better than that of mobile Shahed interception teams, which usually operate from vehicles or pickups with mounted machine guns. Such an aircraft can accomplish far more than many vehicles with large crews. The effectiveness of such planes and missiles is close to 100%. Of course, occasional malfunctions can happen, but this is not some complex dogfight where you can easily miss or where unexpected events might occur. No, here you simply get behind the Shahed, fire the missile, and go after the next one. I have long said that such planes could be the backbone of Shahed interceptor squadrons, either these aircraft or drones specifically designed to destroy Shaheds. In principle, I think both approaches should be used. Both paths are quite promising. These Czech made agricultural planes are, of course, not Messerschmitts from World War II, which were purpose built to destroy relatively slow moving propeller aircraft. But still, better something like this than nothing at all. Of course, Messerschmitts and Mustangs from World War II would be much better. They were created exactly for this kind of work. I must say, I felt great joy when I saw this news. It's truly wonderful and impressive that the Ukrainian armed forces have chosen this path and begun using what I see as an obvious, inexpensive, effective, and fairly reliable solution. From any perspective, it's a great development. I hope this is only the beginning. 10, maybe 15, or even 20 aircraft of this type, equipped with thermal imagers and the simplest radars, or perhaps even without radars, could fully protect the skies over major Ukrainian cities and perhaps the whole country or from propeller-driven Shaheds. With Shaheds that have jet engines, it's a bit more complicated, but for those, I think jet fighters like the F-16, MiG-29, or Mirage 2000 would be deployed, as such jet-powered fighters are better suited to intercept jet-powered Shaheds. Also, I think it's worth at least trying to reach out to American, Canadian, or perhaps some European aviation clubs and ask their members if they'd like to participate with their own planes in real aerial combat, shooting down these Shaheds. This would mean installing real armament, guns, machine guns, on their old Messerschmitts, Mustangs, Spitfires, or whatever else they have, maybe even Japanese Zeros, and giving them the opportunity to fly and shoot down drones. I think many would agree, and it could become a sort of volunteer air force that would greatly help Ukraine. At the very least, I think it would be possible and interesting to experiment in this direction, and willing participants would surely be found. I'm quite certain that there is no greater dream for a true aviation enthusiast who restores World War II aircraft than to sit in that plane and, at full speed, shred an enemy target with a burst from their machine gun or automatic cannon. I think this is their ultimate dream, and if given the chance to fulfill it, they'd be happy and would even pay money for the opportunity to take part in such an attraction. That said, I should note someone might say that Russia could do the same. In theory, yes, but in practice, no. Why? Because Russia's territory is far larger, and patrolling it would require many times more such planes than Ukraine needs. There simply aren't enough planes or pilots, therefore, Russia can only provide localized defense over important facilities, and even that doesn't always work, which is good. In recent days, there have been many Ukrainian drone strikes on the Russian Federation. For example, just a couple of days ago in Sochi, there was panic, a mass evacuation from beaches, shopping malls, and even concert halls and hotels. This was caused by a wave of several dozen Ukrainian drones attacking targets along the Black Sea coast of the Russian Federation. It created chaos and amazement among holidaymakers, many of whom had never experienced anything like it when the war came directly to them. Next, there was a massive Ukrainian drone strike against Russian air defense systems in Crimea. The main intelligence directorate of Ukraine released a video showing that Russian radars and air defense systems in Crimea are now being covered with protective domes. However, according to this footage, these domes offer little protection. They can be penetrated, and the air defense systems are destroyed. The Ukrainian main intelligence directorate also struck the airfield in Saky, a military base hosting Russian naval aviation, including Su-30 fighter jets. These aircraft are used by Russia to destroy Ukrainian drones heading toward Crimea and Russia's Black Sea coast, as well as to attack Ukrainian unmanned naval vessels. According to Ukrainian intelligence, about half a dozen of these jets were damaged or destroyed at the airfield. Crimea is, from an air defense perspective, a very difficult area to protect. Without a fully functioning fleet, it is practically impossible to reliably defend the peninsula from drone raids coming from the sea. Since much of the Russian fleet is effectively lying on the seabed, Russia faces serious problems with its air defense there. Air defense systems are installed, but then small Ukrainian drones suddenly arrive and destroy them. This destruction happens regularly, targeting radar stations, launchers, control vehicles, and reloading trucks, all of which are extremely expensive, costing tens or even hundreds of millions. And yet, Russia continues to install new systems to replace those destroyed, especially in Crimea. As we can see, no protective measures help, and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of air defense equipment simply go up in smoke. Why does Russia keep doing this? Because if they don't install these systems, the entire peninsula, all Russian troops and important facilities would become easy targets for Ukrainian aviation and long-range drones. Therefore, the Russian Federation is forced to keep throwing new air defense systems into what is essentially a furnace, even though they often end up being destroyed. Sometimes they manage to protect something, but more often they themselves become targets. As a result, huge amounts of money and resources are burned up there. But in the current situation, Russia simply cannot afford to leave Crimea undefended.